Hi guys. Okay, we meet again. So today what we are going to study classes and objects. So what are classes and objects? Like just a second. Yeah, we can great. So what are classes and objects? What are constructor? Like what we had done in the previous classes. Very good evening, Shyam. What we have done in the previous classes. So we will relate all those things in today's class. How we will do that? Just be focused. This class is going to be like little large in the size, means we will cover many things, and those things has to be covered in a single slot. Okay. So so agenda for today's class, for today's session. Let's write the agenda. Yeah, very good evening, folks. So what we will go with? We will start with classes. After that, we will go with what are objects. We have done some part of it in the previous class. Hi Vishal, hi everyone. And after that, we will discuss about. We have discussed this already, but we will discuss about memory management of classes and objects. Of classes and objects. Okay, okay. After that, anything else? Yes, we have constructors. We have constructors. So, and at last, what we have? We have this keyword. So, these are very important topics. So, are we going to study everything in detail? Like, in are we going to deep dive in everything? As of now, no. As of now, no. We will just scratch the upper layer. We will just scratch the upper layer. Why? Because this will be needed. And once we enter Java, and in that, once we enter OOPS, we will study, or I should say, we will revisit all these topics again. And at that time, we can have a very clear picture what are these. Okay? Okay. Let's start, guys. Let's start. So, uh, okay, that came little. Okay, understood. I have to just a second. We will move this little on the right side, left side. You can see that now. Okay. So, can you guys tell me what are different data types which we have studied? What are the different data types which we have studied as of now? So, the different data types which we have studied as of now are, Akash, this is simple. We know that. So, the data types we have studied now are int, long, after that float, double. Okay, can you guys tell me? Can you guys? Yeah, that is the categorization of that. It's correct, but we have studied these as of now. Okay, so we have studied string as well. So is string a data type? No, string is not a data type. So you will think why you are telling like that. Why you are telling like that, that string is not a data type. So string is something else. This we have not discussed as of now, but string is not a data type. Yes, correct. String is a class. String is a class. And this is a inbuilt class. This is a inbuilt class. Okay, okay, understood, understood. And similarly, now can you guys tell me, can you guys tell me Like if we want to store a data which is of type integer, then we will use int. And if we want to store a data which is of type float, then we will use float. And if we want to store a true or false, then we will use boolean. But suppose now, if the requirement is if the requirement is to store to store data of type boolean data of type boolean, int, and long. Like we have to store these three types of data at one place. Like previously, whatever we have studied, the 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 data type remains similar. But now we want a data type which should have all these three types of data. We want a data type which should have all these three types of data. So we can call this user defined data type. We can call this user defined data type because we have defined such data type, right? What we have decided, what we have decided that what we have decided that our data type will have internally three kinds of data types. So this is what we have decided. So some other person will come. Suppose a person x came and he wants int and boolean. He wants int and boolean. So this will be another user defined data type, right? This will be another user defined data type. So similarly, this is one. This is one. So how can we achieve this, guys? How can we achieve this? So this you must have studied something called uh, structures in class. Sorry, in C. When you will be learning C language, so you must have came across this problem. In Java, in Java, to resolve this problem, what we have? What we have? We have a something called class. We have something called class. So to create to create a what should I say a blueprint to create a blueprint which can have different kinds of data type in it, and those different data types depend upon the user. Like if I want these particular types of uh, okay if we want to if we want these particular kind of data types, then then have those. So how we write a class? How we will write a class? How we will write a class? So to write a class, we can write something like suppose, what should be the class name? Let's take computer. So computer is the class name. Computer is the class name. In that, this is how we write a class. In that, suppose we have two properties, one as var, and which is of type int, and another as string, which is str, another is string. Okay, so this is a class. So this is how we write a class. Okay. So like you must have heard this previously. Like there is nothing. Class is what? Class is something on paper. Class is something. Class is something like a set of rules. Class is something called set of rules. You must have heard these words previously, right? So the the real entity of a class comes into picture when we create object out of it. So this is what, when we have studied this, this is something which does not exist. This is something theoretical. This exists on paper. This exists on paper. This is theoretical, right? And if we want to create something out of this, if we want to create something out of this, so what we create? We create a instance of that, and that is called object. Don't worry, guys, don't worry. We will just let me remove this. Yeah, okay, yeah. Huh. I know this will become easy. Don't worry. So now if we want to create, if we want to create a object of this class, how we can do that? How we can do that? So we will write something like this. We we have written the class name. After that, we have written the object name, and after that we will write new, right? And after that we will write. Let's bring it little on the left side. Hmm. So after that we will write something like this. So this we have already seen. This thing we have already seen. This is similar to something like this. Similar to something like uh, this. So what is it, guys? What is it? These are the data types. This is user defined data type, and this is a primitive data type. This is the name of the this is the name of that variable. We can here this is the name, and and here we allocate the memory, right? Right? And one more thing we have studied, that when we use something like new, when we use something like new, okay, I'm so sorry, this went on the back of my, just a second, I will bring it down. Okay, I have to check it. Yeah, now it should be visible. Okay, so when we create something called new, so what we create? We create a memory space in heap, and similar thing will happen in this case. Similar thing will happen in this case. Some memory will be created, and that memory will be created in heap. Don't worry, we are just scratching the top. We will go deep, little deep today. Don't worry, wait. So are you telling something like this? Are you trying to tell something like this? Like, suppose, so what happens is, if we are creating a, if we are creating a user defined data type, so that will create a heap, and in that this will have some memory location. Let's suppose it is 4K, and it will have those properties. And what was the other one? It was a string, I guess, right? It was string str. Okay. So what is this? What is this? This is called, this is the real existence of that class. And this is called object. This is called object. And this is also called instance of a class. Instance of a class. Okay, we are getting something like, so what we have understood as of now is, like, what is class? Class is something called a set of rules we have defined, and that is something theoretical, that is, that doesn't have the real existence. Understood that, understood that. And what is an object? So using that set of rules, using those set of rules, we create something real using the new keyword. And when we create something new using those new keyword, then we create some, use some memory in heap, and this is what is called object, and this is also called instance of that particular class. Okay, and this is something uh, real entity, real entity. Understood? Understood? Everyone understood this? If you guys have understood this, if you guys have understood this, then let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. So, let's start with some examples. Let's start with some examples. So, okay, you have already given one example. Can you give us another one? Let's make the mic little on the far. Yeah, seems okay. So let's take the other example of. mm, let's take an example of home. Okay. So in home we can have int rooms, and in that we can have boolean furnished. Like, is that a room furnished or not? So in that we can have what we can have, guys. Mm, BHK. Yeah. So int BHK. Like, what is it? It is a 1 BHK or a 2 BHK or a 3 BHK. So we can have these. So what is these, guys? What is this? So this is what we have created. This is the set of rules. These are the set of rules. So using these set of rules, we will create different objects. How we will do that? How we will do that? Suppose this is the data type. This is the user defined data type, and this is the, like, my home is the variable, is the object. My home is the object, and using that, we will use new. Tell me, home. So we are allocating some memory to that. So what this will do? What this will do? This will create. This will in heap. Suppose this is heap. Okay. Suppose this is heap. What is this? This is heap. In heap, this will create a something like int rooms, something like boolean furnished, something like int bhk. So this is the real existence of that. And now, initially, what will be the value? We will discuss that later. But now, if we want to put some values in it, how we will do that? So here, this is the object. This is the object. And to access these properties of those object, to access these, how we write? We write something like my home dot those properties. So let's suppose the number of rooms are 3, so we have put it as 3, and in that we have my home dot furnished. Let's suppose this is furnished, so it will be true, right? And in my home, again, we are accessing the third property, that is BHK, and that is 3 BHK. So when we will write this, this particular memory location will be updated with those values. It will get updated with those values. Okay, understood. So, why we are using this? Why we are using this? My home dot rooms. Don't worry, we will discuss that. This is the way. As of now, just understand that this is the way how we put values in those properties of that particular object. This is the way in which we put values in the properties of those objects. Like in a home, like let's change the color. In a home, these are different properties, right? And using this, we are putting the values in that, right? See, understood. Very clear. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. If you have understood this, so let's go. Okay, was it visible clearly, guys? Yeah, it was visible. Okay, so now what we have to do? I want to take a quiz. I want to take a quiz. Are you guys up for a quiz? Are you guys up for a quiz? I have discussed this earlier, but I want to discuss this again. So suppose we have a void uh, change, and that we are getting int a, and in that we have a is equal to 50. Close this, and after that we have a main function. In that main function we have int a is equal to 10, and after that change is called with a, and after that we do sop uh, a and close it, right. So can you guys tell me what will the value for this? Can you guys tell me what will the value for this? Can you guys tell me what will the value for this? So this is simple. This is simple. So what we have to do, we will create a stack, and in that stack, yes, correct. Very nice, very nice. In that stack, this is main. In this, we will have a is equal to 10, and we are passing that value here. So we will again create another stack. This we have discussed in the previous class. That's why I'm going that fast. In the next stack, what we will do, we will have a, and that will get 10 initially. In this line, because this 10 will be passed, right? This 10 will be passed and it will be received here. And in this line, this 10 will be get updated to 50. That's okay. And then this is done. So we come out of this function. Our control comes back to this main function. This gets wiped off. This gets wiped off. And after that, we see SOPA. So it prints 10. Very good, guys. Very good. So you are understanding this. So why I have told you this is like the the values were getting stored, like two places the values get stored. One is called stack and another is called heap. So here the values were getting stored in the stack, right? Right? And suppose if we change the problem, like something like this, uh, it's change, and in that we have int a, and in that we have yeah, at a of 0 uh, to 2, and after that what we will do, we will close that. In that we will have main. In main we will have int one array a is equal to, I'm sorry, yeah, it will have suppose 5. Okay, it will have a single variable. After that we call the function change with value a, and after that we do sop a of 0. Guys, please pay so much attention before answering this one. Guys, please pay so much attention before answering this one. Please, I'm requesting you. Tell me that. Okay, so what we have? Again we will create a memory stack. So in that we have main. Here we will have change. Here we are setting some value in this array. So, and this is creating Uh, okay, yeah. That we are creating a in array. So how this is done? Actually, to not okay, what we can do? That's okay. That's okay. You should understand that. So how we create array using new keyword, right? So and we also understand that when we store some value in an array, it gets stored in some other memory location, and that is called heap, right? That is called heap. So here 5 will be stored, and that memory location will be 2k or something. So it is 2k. Understood? And now we are passing that 2k here, and we are receiving that 2k here, right? So, and at the same memory location, we are altering the value from 5 to 2, right? Now, the work of this is done. So, this is done. Here, A is equal to 2k. Just remember that. This is done. The control will come back to the main. The control will come back to the main. This is done. This is done. Now, we'll try to print that A of 0. We will go. This is pointing to this, and this is also pointing to this. So if we are going to this value, what we will print? What we will print? We will print 2. So these two examples were discussed just to understand the concept of heap and stack. Not to understand actually. We have discussed this in very detail in the previous class. So just to recap. Okay. Understood. So, yeah, done. Now what we have, let's start with another problem. Why this is not going? Hmm. Okay, we have another question. Okay, so we have a class student. We have a class student, and in that class we have some properties like ID, name, uh, DSA marks, and math marks. Okay, uh, ID, name, DSA marks, and after that we have int math marks. Let's suppose that. So these are the four properties in this class. Understood. So and this is the main function. This is the main function, guys. And in this main function, what we are doing? This is a class, and in the main function, we are trying to create some objects out of that class. Some objects out of that class. So that's okay. That's okay. Student S1 is equal to new student, something like this, something like this. Again, we will create another object. Understood. That's clear. That's completely clear. So why we are writing this? Why we are writing this? The reason we are writing this is it should not cut actually. Yeah, that's okay. It is visible. Thank God. So now in this, what we are doing is we are writing s1 dot id. We are putting some values in that. We are putting 1. Okay, we are putting s1 dot name. uh let's name it xyz. It's a string, right? Okay, and similarly we are writing s2 dot name is equal to abc, and here s2 dot id we are making it 2. Understood. So what, when we are writing something like this, so what is happening internally? What is happening internally? That's what we have to discuss as of now. When we are writing something like this, so in the call stack, in the call stack, in the call stack, what we have? Okay, it should not be that big. Wait. Yeah, it should be something like this one. Huh. In the call stack, what we have? In the call stack, we have S1, and in the call stack, we have S2. And see, we have created something using new keyword. So we are creating some memory in heap for S1 and for S2 both, right? Right? And in this, we will have ID and name. It will have some memory location, 4K. It will also have some memory location. It will also have ID and name. So this is the pictorial representation of what we have written here. So to understand, okay, when we write something like this, so what is happening? So in the call stack, we have S1, which is having some memory. In the S2, we have some memory, and that memory, at that memory, we have something stored with some property called ID and name. And for S2, we again have some memory, and with that memory address, at that memory address, again we have something stored, that is ID and name. And these two memory addresses are in heap. These two memory addresses are in heap. Understood? This is what you should be able to visualize, right? Okay, understood. So now, so here we will have 4K, here we will have 8K. This will point here, this will point here. And ID, since we have updated those, so it will be 1, it will be XYZ, it will be 2, and it will be ABC. Understood. Simple, very simple. Very simple. Let's go ahead. So if we are able to understand this, just give me a second. Okay. Yeah. We have to copy this thing actually. Let's copy this. This will help. We don't have to write this again, guys, because it is very tough to write this again and again. Paste it. Yeah. Just bring it on this side. Seems good. Seems good. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we have here something like this. Okay. So we have a student ID, name, everything, and we have. Okay. So we will not need this. We will not need this. Let's remove it. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Understood. So let's have one another ID. Uh, Student S3 S3 is equal to this same. Let me write it because you guys will get confused. New student, uh, like this. Understood. So we have something like this. Okay. Okay. So now what we are doing? We are writing something like, okay, why this is getting selected? We are writing something like S3 is equal to S1. We are writing something like S3 is equal to S1. So what is happening now? What is happening now? So now if we will if we will write s3 dot id as 4, after that we will do sopln s1 dot id. So what we will get, guys? What we will get? Tell me what we will get. So again, for better understanding, we have another memory location in heap that is having id and names. Let's suppose this is 2k. Let's change the color so that it should not match with the code. uh, Seems good. So it is 2k, and we have, after that we have s3, and that is pointing to 2k initially. That is having 2k initially, right? But now what we have done in s3, we are putting the address of s1. We are putting this address in s3. So this 4k is coming here. So when this 4k is coming here, so what is happening, guys? This this reference is getting deleted, and this s3 is also pointing to the same location, and we are updating s3.id as 4. And see, both s3 and s1, both s3 and s1 are pointing to the same memory location. Since both are pointing to the same memory location, so if we will do sopln s1.id s1.id, it will print 4 only. This question came in one, what should I say, that OA assessment, online assessment, generally product based companies take, right? So this was in that. See how basic questions they are trying to test. Okay, let's go ahead. This was a nice one, Akash. Let's go ahead. So the now what we have done, what we have done when we were doing something like s3 is equal to s1, trying to copy, but it did not copied that. What it copied? It copied the memory address, right? And that's why both, which resulted into pointing to the same memory location for both s1 and s3. Understood? So if we want to now copy to create a copy of s2 in s3, what we will do, what we will do what we will do, guys, what we will do. So let's try to where is my cursor? Yeah, here it is. This you can understand, right? So if you want to do the copy, so let's bring it on the left side. Now if we have this, if we want to do copy, and what copies we want to make, it's not s2 and s3. Let's make it why s2 and s3, s1 and s2, right? We want to create a copy of s2 in s1, or let's make it a reverse, copy of s1 in s2. So how we will achieve that? How we will achieve that, guys? Simple, very simple. What we can do is we will not alter anything. We will not alter anything. So we will have id name for s1. We will have id and name for s1, And after that, when we will write st.id and st.name, what we will do? We will alter something here. We will alter something here. So what we will alter? We will alter this s1 dot name, put s1 dot name in s2 dot name, and put s1 dot id in s2 dot id. So what this will do? We are putting 1 and xyz here. We are putting 1 and xyz here. And now in s2 dot name, we are also putting s1 dot name. So 1 only. So just one only. Just give me a second, guys. Just give me a second. Someone is on the door. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, yeah, what we were doing? I'm so sorry, guys. So we were trying to achieve something like this. I'm so sorry, guys. Again, someone is knocking. Okay, let's come back. So now what we will have? We will have, let's remove this first. Okay, why this is not getting removed? Yeah, seems good. Seems good. Yeah. So what we are doing? We are putting s1 dot name in s2 dot name. So s1 dot name has 1. So we put 1 here, and s1 dot id has xyz. So we will put xyz. In this way, we will copy. Am I talking on mute? Just let me check that. Am I talking on mute? No, it's okay. So in this way, we can copy. In this way, we can copy one object to another. Understood. Understood. So we understood the what you're trying to tell us, like what are classes, what are objects, and how those objects get memory in the heap, and how that reference works, how we copy a object. All these different problems we have understood. That's cool. That's cool. That's very cool, guys. So if you have understood this, so let's try to implement these things. Let's try to implement these things. Okay, okay, okay. Let's go to the IDE. Mm, okay, so what we have to do here is, okay, guys, okay. So, mm, what actually I have written everything, what I have to discuss in this IDE, because in IDE, mostly you will get all your doubts cleared. So first we will discuss how we had created objects and how we had printed that. So how we can create object? How we can create object? So to create object, we need a class first. We need a class first. So suppose uh, cannot edit in read only. Okay, why this is not getting edited? Okay, there's no problem. Java GDB compiler, right? GDB compiler, that will work. Okay, yeah. I don't know why that is not getting edited. That's okay. We will work out here. Java. Okay. So now what we were discussing, we were writing something like this. So let's uh we will discuss these later, or we can remove this as of now. Let's remove this. Let's remove these things. So what we have, guys, please pay so much attention. Please pay so much attention. So what we have here, we have a we are creating a class. We are creating a class. And in this class, the name of the class is student, and it has some properties: ID, name, DSA marks, math marks. Similar to what we have done. Similar to what we have done. Okay. Okay. So this is the class, but let's not create it here. Let's take this class out of this main. Okay, let's take this class out of this main. Okay, done. Understood. Great. So now what we have to do, we have to create a object out of that class. Okay, so how we will achieve that? So what we can do is we can write, if we will write something like this. See, because if I will go and type, it will take so much time. That's why I'm trying to uh, okay, yeah. So what we have done here, see guys, what we have done here, we have created two objects, s1 and s2. This is simple. So this was the class. Using that class name, student s1 is equal to new student, we have created two objects, s1 and s2. Okay. So what this will do? This will create a memory location in the heap, and the memory address of that heap will be stored in the stack at S1. Understood? Similarly, we will do that for S2 as well. Understood? And now we are putting some values in that S1.id. We are putting 1. Name, something like this. DSA marks, something like this. Math marks, something like this. And similarly, we are putting the values for S2 as well. Understood. Simple. So this is how we create an object and put values in the properties of the object. Okay, then how we will print that? What we will do something like this. We will do, just let me copy it. Yeah, we will do something like this. So if we want to print the object, if we want to print the object, so we can write something like this. So what we are, I'm sorry, what we are doing? We are simply using system.out.println, print s1.id. So s1 will take to that memory location, and at that memory location, find the id and print that. Simple. This is simple. This is very simple, because we have understood this already. So if we will run this, so we will print, see, for S1, the ID was 1, the name was ABC, the marks were 98 and 96. For S2, these were the values. So this was very simple, Akash. We already understood how to write a class and how to create an object. And suppose if you have created an object, then how we put static class not allowed to create objects. I didn't understand that. Uh, Shyam, can you explain that, please? Okay, like if you're asking about static or something like that, don't worry. Just as of now, because see, in starting, what we had done, we had not even discussed what is class, what is object, and what is this new keyword. So now we are joining those dots. So don't ask as of now what is static keyword and what is public, what is that, what is this. We will discuss everything one by one. Don't worry. Just be patient. So in this way, we will write a object and we will print it. That's okay. Understood. Understood. So now the examples which we had done, right? Like the examples where we were uh, we were copying the objects, the examples where uh, when we were trying to do s1 is equal to s2, the problem which we are seeing, now we will understand those. Now we will try to understand those ones. So this is simple. This we have done already. So let's comment this out. Let's comment this out. I will share this code with you guys so that you can have a better understanding of this. You can have a better understanding of this. So now, yeah, one more thing I want to show you is just see. So what, see guys, please pay so much attention. Let's uncomment this. So what this is S1 and this is S2. These are, these are, these are storing the address, right? The S1 and S2 are storing the address. So how we can confirm that? So if we will try to print S1 and S2, if we will try to print S1 and S2, see what will happen. See what will happen. See, one hexadecimal number, right? But we were using it as 4K or 8K. But this is the address. This is the address of S1. Like if we are storing this data, see, for S1, we are storing this data, and that data is getting stored at this particular address, guys. And similarly, for S2, those data which we were trying to store, these are getting stored in this particular address. Okay, now we are getting the clear picture. Now we are understanding everything. Okay, understood, understood. So why I'm not writing this in front of you is it will take so much time, guys. It will take so much time. I don't want to waste time in writing. You should do that. You should do that. Okay. So now let's take the next one. Now let's take the next one. Yeah, this is the another one. The next one, what we were what we were trying to discuss, right? Like, just give me a second. Let's align it properly. Seems correct. Okay, okay. Uh, but why we don't have that? Yeah, we can have this from here. Let's copy this. Let's create another object and with S3. Okay. So now we have three objects, S1, S2, S3. Okay. So now what we are trying to do? S1 is equal to S1. Yeah. We have to uncomment this part. We have to uncomment this part. Please pay attention. We have S1, S2, S3. So what are these? These are three instances of a particular class. And these all three instances will have all these properties: ID, name, DSA marks, math marks. This will have all those. Okay, okay. So if that is the case, so Now what we are trying to do here? We are trying to, what we have learned here, like this, this gives the memory address. We are we are trying to copy that memory address of S1 into S3. We are trying to copy the memory address of S1 into S3. So the memory address of S1 can be checked here. And when we have copied it, so it can be checked here, right? Let's check. Let's check. Okay. S3 is already defined in method main. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Okay. Okay. That is not required then. That is not required. Just a second. Yeah. Why that is not required? If someone will ask, why does it? Because we are doing the same thing here again. See, where was it? Here. Student S3 is equal to S1. We were doing the same thing again. So that is not required. So now what we have? Now what we have? What we have is we are putting that S1 into S3. So you can see we are printing here. So these two memory locations are same. And if we are now changing memory location dot id, so it will change at both places for S3 and S1 both. So if we will try to print S1 now, so it will give 5, and which is what is happening, which is what is happening. Okay, understood. So we are getting this. We are getting everything, Akash. This is very simple. This is not that tough. We are understanding this. So if you guys have understood this, let's go to the next topic. Let's go to the next topic. So in a class, what we have done? We have created some properties, right? In a class, we have created some properties. And in a class we can also have methods. In Java, methods are similar to functions, so don't get confused, like what are methods and what are functions. Okay, so in a class we can also have methods, right? So let's create one method for us. So let's suppose, mhm, let's use this. So let's create a control C. What we have this method. I'm sorry, we don't have anything in this method as of now. So the method is public void, and the method name is print me. The method name is print me. Okay, understood. So let's print all the elements. So as of now, what we were doing, guys, please pay attention. Please pay so much attention. As of now, how we were printing? We were printing SOPLN, S1.id, S1.name, S1 dot DSA marks, S1 dot math marks, and similarly we have to do this again and again, right? Right? So, but now, if we want to print, if we want to print, then what we can do? So how we access this ID, name, DSA marks, and math marks? We write something like, if you want to access ID, like if we want to print ID, so how we will write? System dot out dot print S1 dot ID, right? Right. So this is how we will access the ID. And if we want to access that function, so what we will write? We'll write system dot S1 dot something like this, right? Let me see. I have to take another examples as well. Yeah, okay. Let's discuss that later. Let's run this as of now. Let's try to run this. Okay, why this? Uh, why this? Oh, sorry. What I'm doing, guys? What I'm doing? We don't have to print that, right? Because this will not print. This function. I'm so sorry. This function is returning void. So how we will print that? We can directly use this. This will work, right? So for S1 we are printing ID, name, DSA marks, math marks, and so what we are doing now? So S1 dot print me. So we are going to this. We are going to this print me function. In that print me function, it has something to do. It has to print some elements, and it is what it is doing. And now if we'll try to print same things for S2, then we can write something like, just a second, let's bring it little down so that we can understand that these are different concepts. Control C. Let's comment this out. Yeah. Huh. So if we will run this, so what it will give? See, it is giving the value, the properties of S2, of S2. Understood, understood. So, but how? But how? Can you tell me how this is working? Like in print, in this function, in this function, we are trying to print the ID, but when we take s1 dot id, it print values of id, and when we take s2 dot id, it print values of s2, because there is something called this. There is something called this, and this is hidden. This is hidden here. And what this contains? This, please understand this. What this contains? This contains the memory location, or I should say reference of current object. This contains the memory location or reference of current object. Understood, understood. So now if we will try to print something like this, now if we will try to something, now if we will try to print something like this, so what will happen, guys? So what will happen? Let's see. So for S2 and for, let's see, S1, not this one, this will be incorrect. So what is this giving now? See, please pay so much attention. This is giving the memory location. This is giving the memory location of that particular object. So if we want to cross check that, so if we will do control C, if we will print this here for S1, and for S2 if we will print this here, and let's yeah, and if we will run this C for S1, both the values will come same. See, main dollar student 3b22. See, that means it is confirmed that that this keyword is pointing to the reference of current object. Understood. So now we are getting the clear picture of what is a class, and how, what, like in real example, like we can visualize, Akash, now what is a class. Okay, so a class is a thumb of rules. Okay, like it is what it is kind of used for. It is kind of used for creating, tell me, kind of used for creating a user defined data type. So these are what we know of a class. There are many other things which we have discussed, but these are some. And how do we get an object? How do we get an object? So using a new keyword, we get a real entity of a class, and that particular object gets some memory in the heap, and in the stack we write that s1 is containing that memory address, and it refers to that particular location. Understood? And after that, what we have studied, how to copy a object. And after what we have studied, after that, like, suppose if we are writing a function and we are not passing any parameter, then in that particular function, that this keyword is passed automatically, and that is hidden. How that is confirmed? We try to print that this keyword here. We tried to print that this keyword here, and this keyword came as similar to the memory location which was stored at S1 and which was stored at S2. Understood, 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 understood this. So we are quite clear what is a this keyword. We are quite clear what is a this keyword. So just give me a second. Okay, where is that? I can't see. Yeah, this line. I want to copy this line and paste it here, guys. What is this line? This keyword has the reference slash address of the current object. Of the current object. Okay, understood. So we are clear with classes, we are clear with objects, we are clear with this. What is left? What is left? So there is something called constructor. There is something called constructor. So what is a constructor? Has anyone heard of it? Has anyone heard of that? Just give me 30 seconds. Yeah, kind of correct. Kind of correct. Not everything, but yeah, it's correct. So what is a constructor? So first of all, like before, so what is, how I teach? I will tell you. First, I try to create a problem statement. First, I try to create a problem statement, because if you understand the problem, then only you will understand why that particular thing came into picture. So now you can understand why classes and why objects, those came into picture. You can understand that because there is a problem. There was a problem which is fixed using those classes and objects and functions, whatever it is, using that this keyword, right? So now let's try to discuss the problem behind constructors. So suppose yeah. So what we have is, let's come here. Let's remove these things. Okay, let's remove these things. Control. We have commented it out, and we are trying to, okay, we can print it here as well. We are trying to print here, and let's comment everything else. Let's try to comment everything. Yeah, it's commented. So if we are trying to run it, what is happening? See. So for ID, it is coming as 0, it is coming as null, 0, 0. Like we were having four properties: ID, name, marks, and marks. So out of that, three are coming as 0 and one is coming as null. So why this is happening? This is happening because when we when we have a, like, what should I say? Just give me a second. Let me copy that because hmm, yeah. Hmm. So these are called the data members of the class. So when we have ID, name, these marks and these things, these properties basically, so what happens is, if we don't give it any value, if we don't give it any value, so int gets initialized with 0, string gets initialized with null, something like that, something like that. Okay, understood, understood. So you are trying to tell that they will have some default value with them. So here the default value will be 0. And similarly, if we will copy this here, copy this here, and copy this here. So similarly, for marks, it will also be 0. This is also int. So, but for string, it is null. Understood. Understood this. So that is the case. But now, if we don't want that, so the default value is this one. But if we now, when we create an object, we want that these default values should not be there. Like, I am not okay with these default values. As a user, when I'm trying to create an object using this class, I'm not okay with these default values. नहीं, I don't want to create a object with these default values. नहीं, मेरे को ऐसा मन नहीं. Then what we will do? Then what we will do? In that case, in that particular case, constructor comes into picture. In that particular case, constructor comes into picture. So what was the problem? The problem was that we need a default value which should be, which I should able to set. As a user, I am creating an object, so I should set those default values. Understood? So in that case, constructor will come into picture. And to be more specific, I should say parameterized constructor. Okay, I will tell you why I have said this. So why, what is a parameterized constructor, I will tell you, and why I have said that parameterized constructor will be used. Like okay, don't worry, just give me a second. So let's copy the constructor. So as someone has already told that what is a constructor, what is a constructor, let's close this function, and after that, okay. Hmm. So after that, we will have something like this. So what we have done, most important thing, the constructor is created with the same name. The constructor is always created with the same name of the class. The constructor is always created with the same name of the class. Okay, okay. So if that is the case, yeah. Hmm. Okay. So the constructor is always created with the same name of the class. As of now, the name of the class was student. So we have created the constructor with student. And we are passing some properties. What are these properties? A, we are passing for name, sorry, ID. B, we are passing for name. C, we are passing for DSA marks. D, we are passing for math marks. Understood? And what we are doing? We are assigning those values to this ID, name, DSA marks, and math marks. So we have created a parameterized constructor as of now, but how we will use it? How we will use it? Let's now create a new object. Let's now create a new object. How we will create object? Using student. The last object was S3, right? S3. Let's create S4. S4 is equal to student S4 is equal to new new student, like this. And here we will pass those values. The ID, suppose it's 4, so it is 4. The name is mm, uh, let's name it something like this. And after that we will have marks. So he's a poor student, so he got some less marks in DSA, but in maths he was good, so he got something like 89. So in this way what we have done, we have created a new object with some default values. Here, this student is that particular parameterized constructor which is helping us to create an object with some default values. Understood? If that is the case, so if we will try to print s4 dot print me, so it should, like, is that function correct? Okay, m is the capital. Just a second. So let's check that. Hmm. Some issue. Consider not reply to given types. Student in class. Okay, just I understood the problem. Let me comment these out. I will tell you why this is happening. I will tell you why this is happening. Don't worry. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I have to comment everything because we don't have this as of now. So, okay, we have to comment these as well. I will tell you why we are commenting these. Now it should work. Yeah, working, working. So what is happening? What is happening? So we are creating a object S4 with that student class using the parameterized constructor, and we are passing these values. We are passing these default values. Now we have the control over those default values. And suppose no, I don't want to pass all the values. Like, I just want to fix the name of that particular student. I Okay. I just want to pass the name. I don't want to pass these things. So how we will achieve this? How we will achieve this? How we will achieve this? Let's suppose it is S5. Just let's suppose it is S5, and now we will have another parameterized constructor, right? Right? Because this time we are passing only the name. Okay, so if that is the case, so let's remove it. Let's remove this. Let's remove this. Let's remove this. Okay, understood. So if we will run this now, see, the name is getting updated, but rest of the properties are getting initialized with the default values. See how lovely it is. How lovely these parameterized constructors are. Like we can whatever values we can like change. If we want to change a particular value, we can do that using, we can create a parameterized constructor for that, and we can do that. That's upon us, right? Right? Understood? So now there is very important thing which we have to discuss. Very important thing. So what is that? What is that? We were getting some error. Akash, we were getting some error when we were trying to run this. When we were trying to run this, so we were getting some error. Let's see that particular error. Let's see that particular error. So what was the error? No suitable constructor found for student. No argument. See how fantastic they have customized the errors as well. It is just crying. It is crying. It is wanting to tell us that please make a constructor with no argument. Please make a constructor with no argument, because we are trying to we are trying to create a object. We are trying to create an object here, and for that we are not passing any argument. And when we are trying to do that, we are not getting any constructor for that. So is it is it the case that we always have a constructor? Yes, that is the case. If we don't pass any parameterized constructors, please hear it very carefully. If we don't pass any parameterized constructors, so that default constructor has not to be mentioned. It works. There is no need to write it. But if we write the parameterized constructor, what happens is compiler understands that this particular fellow understand how to write a constructor. So he should write the default constructor as well. So how we will write that? Simple, simple. Just write this. Just write this. Something like this. What is the time left, guys? Okay, where is, yeah, something like this. In default constructor, we will not pass any values. It will be something like this. It will be something like this, guys, right? It will be something like this. Empty one. So now if we will run this, it will do the magic. See, now it is working. The error is gone. Understood? Understood, everyone? Okay, okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. We are done with today's session. We are done with classes, objects, and after that we have done different problems in objects. After that we have discussed this keyword, and after that we have discussed constructor, parameterized constructor, default constructors. Okay, okay, got it. So we are done for today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. So I have an announcement to make. Uh, See, we are starting a basics of Java, right? We will notify it in the channel as well. Basics of Java. So in that, it was planned to be started today, but due to some unavoidable circumstances, like I was stuck with some other work, so it got late. It will be on tomorrow. Next session, I will tell you. So next session for this playlist, it will be tomorrow. Tomorrow, time will be. I will tell you. It will be. Let's make it 8 p.m. only, 8 p.m. And what we will discuss, we will notify. Don't worry. We have already shared the content list in the Telegram group, so you can check that. And yeah, now we are starting with basics of Java. Suppose if you guys don't have any understanding of what is Java and what is programming, so we will start with zero. Like if you are a class 10th student, if you are a class 10th student and you have a zeal to learn programming, if a zeal to learn programming, you can do that. We will start with that basic knowledge. Don't worry, you don't have to know anything. Just come with a clear mind and a good intention. That's it. So we will start with zero, and after that we will go up to some level, and like after that level you will be able to understand after that level you will be able to understand DSA. And once this DSA is done, then we will go deep inside Java. Like Java is very, very deep, okay, very huge. So we will go into this. So this is the plan. So tomorrow, definitely we will start with basics of Java. Tomorrow will be the first class of this. Please join the session and tell your friends to do that. And yeah, one more thing, guys. I have to tell you, see how I will get motivated, guys. If there will be so many questions, so many peoples will be responding me, so many peoples are liking the video, sharing it. So please do like, share, and subscribe, because at the end, yeah, I'm not getting anything out of this, guys. I'm not getting out of anything out of this, because so what I'm earning out of my salary, it's too much for me. It's too much. That's not an issue. The main thing is, if we are putting some efforts here, that should be shared with most of the people who need this, right? Who need this. So please try to share this with your juniors, your fellow mates, your classmates, your friends who are in this zone. Anyone. And please do like if you liked the video. And yeah, you have to subscribe it as well. I actually write a note just down to my monitor, so that I should not forget it. Okay, thank you, guys. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye bye. We will meet again next day. Okay, yeah. One more thing, guys. One more thing. Try to implement each of these by yourself. Okay, just don't see the video and go. If you will not implement it, like it's nothing, it will be zero. After 3 or 4 days you will definitely what should I say, you will everything will be went out of your mind. So please revise it and implement it.